How are you, everyone? We're so happy to be here on our 12th episode. Oh my God.
Well,
Yes, this is so exciting. Hi, everyone. I'm Ana Galena. I am a floral designer, and my favorite part is sharing with you tips and tricks so flower arranging can be an easy thing for you to do.
good morning and afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. We are back with episode 12 to talk to you again about flowers, to educate and inspire. I am Dionne Woods, owner and artist at the Turquoise Iris. I paint flowers because they never die, and they are my absolute favorite thing to paint. And today we have someone special with us here in the middle of this screen. Holly, tell everybody who you are.
Hello, flower friends. Good morning. I'm Holly Capelli. I'm just a mom, a bit of a backyard farmer, urban gardener, and I'm here to talk all things flowers with you.
Oh, we're so happy you're here with us, Holly. And we have Kara watching us from summer camp. She cannot be with here today on the screen, but she is with us at heart.
You guys, we are going to show my favorite video, my favorite song. So prepare to dance. Let's do this thing.
Oh my God, I love the intro. It just sets the mood for us to have the best show ever. Thank you, everyone who's commenting. You know, we love to read your comments. We're here paying attention. This is an interactive show. That's why it's live. So please ask us anything. Let us know what you're thinking, how you are. Hola, Adriana. Hola, Fer. I like to say hello to all my Mexican, Spanish speaking friends. And hello, everyone.
You guys, I want to let you know that if the connection is bad, I'm going to ask for forgiveness because I'm at the beach, but I did not want to miss out on today's show. I wanted to hang out with Holly and Anna and all of you as well. So if I freeze up, just know that we're all just hanging in there, and that's what you get when you have live television, right? But I want to talk really quickly. For those of you that watched last week's show, raise your hand in the comments because it was really powerful episode. Raise your hand, put them up there, guys. We had two really inspiring. First off, I have to tell you, when I was looking at Ace's images online, I loved hearing about his floral beard. I didn't know floral beards were a thing. Anybody else know that floral beard was a thing? Anna, when I was seeing his photographs, I thought he was holding something. It never occurred to me that he had just like made himself part of the artwork. I had no idea. And since then, I have connected with Robin all week. She and I have been going back and forth. And what a lovely person. I'm ready to get my hands on that book of hers. Aren't you?
No, completely. I mean, I was not on the show live, but I was behind the scenes before the show and after the show. So I got to speak with Ace. And well, he is amazing, really. I can't wait for him to be on the show and show us how to do the beard. Why don't we show them a clip about last week?
Let's do it.
Make anything into a, you can pop anything in, and I just have one thing here that I have. Oops. I brought, like, this is just, you've seen this, like,
yes,
like flower sifter, like a vintage thing that, if you're doing like a vintage table to just like take a plant and pop it in, it's inside in its own container, but it's hidden in here. And these things, because they have the screen underneath, the water can just kind of go through and drain.
Right out.
But I love using anything and making almost anything into a vessel for flowers.
Live boldly, live unapologetically.
Okay.
Yes. Say it again. Say it again.
And be an artist. Like, be your artist of who you are. Like, you might not be for everyone, but you are for someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you will always have a family. You will always have a seat at the table, no matter what. Like, there's enough room for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that I've kind of started really positioning and talking about is that it should be community over competition.
A lot of what I do in the fall sets my garden up for the next year. It sets me up for what is blooming next spring. And so right now I am ordering seeds that I need to be planting in the fall.
Kind of paint together. I bring them up front. We paint together. We paint on canvas. We paint on furniture, and then I literally just give everything away that we work on that day. It's an opportunity for community. It's an opportunity for all of us to kind of connect.
And I love the connections we're getting. I mean, last show was so inspiring. I'm also following Robin. I read Kara in the comments that she says she's taking Robin's advice, and she had a baby shower last week and she took some extra flowers. I mean, that's the whole idea. We want to inspire you, and we want to create this community where we connect, where we have fun. Oh, I love that you're here, Holly.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I love seeing those clips. I love a good repurpose project and seeing all the different things you can use as a planter. It's got me going. Now I'm thinking I have a lot more planters than I had this morning.
Now, you guys that are just popping on, if you're new here, we're hosts. Holly is our guest host this week, while Kara Jameson is at summer camp, I believe. We also have videos on BLOOMTV Network where you can actually go and learn from each one of us, but we have well over 100 other experts that are teaching us all about what you can do with flowers. We would love for you to take this opportunity to share this video, please. But along the way, if you don't really understand what BLOOMTV is or how to access it, please ask your questions here in the comments. We have Monica behind the scenes. Also, we have others on helping us. So we're all here for you to answer your questions and make sure that you really get the best out of BLOOMTV Network possible.
Completely. And I want to take this opportunity to because I see a lot of Spanish speaking viewers, I want to remind you that we have a lot of videos in Spanish. BLOOMTV has decided to launch BLOOMTV en español. I'll say this really fast in Spanish. Suscríbanse al canal, está precioso. Tenemos más de 50 videos para ustedes y seguimos creciendo. Cada vez va a haber más. BLOOMTV is a must, because the main purpose of BLOOMTV is that we want to share beauty. There's a lot of problems going on. There's a lot of terror stories. We want to bring to you beauty. We want to inspire you, because if you think about it, in reality, there's more beauty in life than bad things, but we always focus on the bad, on what's going on wrong. So if we focus on the beauty of life, I guarantee you're going to be way more happier.
And it's nice to have a quick reminder of that sometimes, because we get kind of stuck in a zone. And so our goal is to be this happy place for you every single Friday, where we can kind of redirect you, give you a carefree hour of fun and friends. Megan has a question over here, and she says, how do I access BLOOMTV?
Great question.
So we have a graphic we're going to put on the screen here. And what we really, if you can go to bloomtvnetwork.com, you can click watch. You can sign up for our newsletters. We have the Flowers and Friends if you want to watch our replay that we've done every single week. This is our 12th episode. And brand new, Ana, tell them all about this exciting new thing that we just found out about today.
Yeah, this is incredible. We have a gift for all of you. You can subscribe free to BLOOMTV for 1 month. I mean, once you're there, you're going to love it, and you're going to want to stay there forever. You only have to use the code FLOWERS, and that will give you access for 1 month. Isn't this the best news?
I love it. I'm so excited about that. And I think that, you know, the variety of videos that you'll find on Bloom will be really surprising to some people. I mean, the way that you can use flowers, there are videos on here showcasing ways that we can use them that I had no idea about.
Absolutely. You guys, make sure you are sharing this video. I'm always here to remind. And also, if you recall a couple of weeks ago, I'm still looking for your projects where you repurposed your vase and painted. Make sure you tag me, tag BLOOMTV, tag Flowers and Friends, and we will share your projects on social media. We want to involve you as much as possible. So today we are actually going to talk about letting florals be your guide. So it's really interesting how florals, I think it's interesting to me, Ana and Holly, how florals have become such a dominant part of your life, your business, and really just your daily activity. Holly, you have some flowers there sitting next to you, and I know that your cabinets are stockpiled of flowers. Like, it's really impressive. Tell us a little bit more about that, Holly.
Yeah, well, I find my sanity and my peace in my garden. And all the things that come from that, all of the projects that I do are kind of all part of that refueling for me. So I do find flowers in a vase to be incredibly beautiful, but I often look at them like, oh, I could use that in this, or it's sad that they're just in water. So I love to press them. I love to dry them. I love to infuse oils with them. I love to create new things with them. So yeah, my collections stack up about this time of year.
Well,
I try to fill my cup and fill my jars.
Absolutely. And I'm excited for your segment here in just a few minutes. I was thinking, I'm on vacation right now with my family, everybody, and I was trying to think what really drives me to want to paint flowers or to talk about flowers, because one of my earliest memories of just being a married person, it didn't matter if we had $25 in our bank account. Matt and I were going to the garden center and we were going to buy flowers and mulch and make sure, because it was always just been something that I felt really makes a house a home. And then I got to thinking about, ladies, how do you think in the history of florals, why do you think it is that roses signify love? Or you know how certain flowers have a certain meaning, or you understand when you give somebody daffodils, I mean, you're giving away a bowl full of joy. Like, so isn't it interesting? Like, I don't know, you guys, can you think of some flowers that kind of have a message attached to them, as well as roses or daffodils or peonies? Or tulips to me are spring. They come out in the spring, so it makes me think summer is coming, and it's something that I look forward to. What other flowers can you ladies think of that actually have a message attached to the flower?
For me, is chrysanthemums. To me, they represent fall, even though you can find them all year long. But to me, it's like all the terracotta, mustard color ones, all those fall colors, especially because I live in a city where we don't get the change of colors in the seasons. We never get the trees changing colors. So mums, whenever I bring them into my home, it's like fall is here. So I love them.
For me, I love calendula, and to me, it speaks of healing. I see that as a healing flower. Not only just in the garden, it protects my other plants, defending them from insects. But you can create so many beautiful things with it. It's a joyful flower. It comes in a lot of varieties and different colors. You cannot look at it and not be happy about it. And its uses are just endless.
You know, the sunflowers that we focused on a couple of weeks ago, we found out so much about sunflowers, and I had no idea. I found a lot about why so many of the paintings were about sunflowers, and that it symbolized, you know, more of a casual feel, but yet they're so big and so dramatic. And I would love for the audience, whoever's watching, what is your favorite flower? We would love for you to put in the comments. Irma says her different flowers of roses have different meanings. Yellow is for friends, and Kara says daffodils symbolize happiness, bright and cheerful. And I think that's it. When those daffodils pop out of the ground, because she has 7,000 daffodils at Kara's farm.
I know, that's crazy. Well, that's incredible. That's magical.
I know, right? Well, I mean, I was just kind of thinking about like lilies also. You see a lot of wedding bouquets with lilies in it. And I know there's trends, what's on trend, what comes up, but I feel like the sentimental flower goes back to lilies.
I think I had calla lilies in my wedding as well. And if I recall correctly, I believe my grandma telling me that sometime, perhaps back in the Depression era, that putting a calla lily at your front door symbolized that there was a loss in the family.
Oh.
So I think that lilies might have something connected to death. But I got married with them, so and things are still okay.
I got married with them too, Holly. That was my point. I'm like, well, I had lilies in my bouquet, and so I mean, I don't know, but I think it's interesting the way a flower actually sends a message. I think that's so interesting, and it could have been just in tradition what was available or what was blooming in season. Whereas she says she loves irises and orchids, and Renata loves hydrangea. I just think it's really interesting that a flower symbolizes something else, because not only are they beautiful and make such a beautiful impact on us, but they also have a meaning attached. Well, and most recently, guys, I have to tell you my news, and I keep thinking about all the things that are exciting going on. And we just launched our summer issue of the Turquoise Iris Journal magazine. Oh my gosh, there it is. Look, you guys. So we have published issue 8. It is a digital version. We have Wendy Conklin of Chair Whimsy on the cover. And there she is on the right there. You see that image? She's standing at her greenhouse, you all, and she has plants in abundance inside that thing. Not only that, but next door, she has her art studio where she covers all of her chairs. And we've taken this opportunity to feature 12 different creatives inside the magazine and really give them an additional platform to share their work. We have our very own Kara in this issue this summer. We also have Magnolia's Yard incoming. So I look forward to Holly and Anna having you guys in there coming up really soon. But I will also tell you, if you are the lover of a paper magazine, which I am as well. I love a paper magazine. This is our Where Women Create, where Bloom is featured. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that with Holly here in a few minutes. But we have our What Women Create out as well, and on newsstands. So you're going to want to pick that up. But because I am a lover of paper magazines, I'm going to go ahead and move the journal to a print version in October. So I hope you all celebrate with me, because you're going to get so tired of me talking about it. You really, really are.
Those are wonderful news. That is amazing. Congratulations. That is a huge milestone, you say it? I mean, it's an accomplishment. Oh, congratulations. And also congratulations on today getting your summer issue out. That's great.
Thank you. It's our issue 8, which it's actually been 2 years now since I announced it. In the middle of the pandemic, I announced a digital magazine. Here we go. You know, here's something new. And I thought that the paper version would be out. Like, everything has moved so digital, but my genre, everybody that loves what we love, they're still saying paper's the way to go. And so I've listened, and that's actually what our October, our fall issue, we have a focus word for each issue. The word is listen. And I'm saying, okay, I have listened to what your needs are. I'm going to continue to put beautiful, talented, creative artists and creatives inside the magazine, and we're going to get it printed. And that will be celebrating our 2-year anniversary to actually launch the digital version. So.
And thank you for listening, because it is better to have a printed copy of a book, of a magazine. The experience is completely different. I mean, it's going to be great. And I want to take this moment, because you asked what their favorite flowers were. And we have sunflowers, violets, hydrangeas, irises, orchids. We have down here, I read more. We have,
peonies.
Peonies, yes.
Orchids. Absolutely. You guys, thank you for saying you love paper copies. We really do too. It's just scary. I'm not going to lie. I'm just being honest with you. It is scary to jump into something like that. But I have so much faith in our contributors that we have featured every single issue. And what's happened is I'll flip through the digital pages, and I am blown away. We have some ladies on here who have all been featured in the magazine. I'm blown away at their contributions. I'm blown away at their doing new things, because on the back page of our digital version, there's a QR code. and our subscribers can click that. And we have tutorials that are free that are included. Our contributors have done videos, paint tutorials, where they've added videos. So that's kind of included in your membership. And we'll continue that forward with the paper version.
Oh, wow. We have
I'm really excited for
here.
you. I'm really excited for you, Dionne, for doing this. You are such an inspiration. And I know that this print version is really going to touch a lot of people because you're passionate about showing other people's passion and sharing their art. And that is so sincere. And so I cannot wait to flip through the pages and smell them all. Something about the smell of a new magazine. I am just thrilled for you.
Thank you. You're making me tear up because I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk about me anymore. I get all like,
Back to flowers. Back to flowers.
There is a great question here in the audience. Someone asked, and I think this is a great dynamic. Dionne, if you were a flower, what kind would you be?
I could pick anyone.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I would want to be. Okay, I don't know if I could be just one flower, but if I had to pick one, I would say a peony, and I'll tell you why. But I think I'd rather be a little bit of this and a little bit of that and just be a bouquet. Like,
I love it.
You know, because some days you have those days where you feel a little bit more confident, I'll be red today. But then there's other days you want to be a soft, rosy pink, and you want to be a little bit more subdued. So that's such a nice question, but I think I'd rather be just a bouquet. But maybe a peony would be the main flower. I think that they're comforting. I think that they grow in abundance. And I think if I could translate what that would mean of peonies, what they mean are they really do make people smile. They really do bring a lot of joy because of the intricate, there's so many layers to it. And I feel like with all of us ladies, there's so many layers to us, you know, and sometimes it's harder to peel them back a little bit, harder than other days to peel them back. But yeah, I'm going to go with peony or a full bouquet. How about you? Ana, Holly, you have to take the same question.
Yes.
Well, it's funny that you say that about peeling back because it's sort of what I was thinking. I can relate with the artichoke flower, the artichoke. It's a little prickly, but a little pretty, and very social. The bees love it, right? But there are many layers to an artichoke, and yeah, and you have to be very patient before it blooms. I feel that's me.
It's good.
You got to be a little patient. I'll get there.
That is incredible. That's beautiful. I would definitely be a tulip, and it's funny because a long time ago, somebody asked me, why do you love tulips so much? Because they have always been my favorite flower. And as I was describing the tulip, I noticed I was describing myself. So I love that tulips are free flowers. I mean, they move, they dance, they flow, they keep growing once you cut them. So I love that. And I think I'm pretty much like that. I love to move. I don't like strict rules. And I love that about tulips. You cannot force them to do whatever you want them. They will do whatever they want. So I love that. And I love that they keep growing and growing and growing. And also it's funny because a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, tulips are fragile or tulips are hard to work with. But once you get to know them, they are a wonderful flower to work with because they let you design with them. So I love tulips and I would be a tulip.
That's a beautiful answer. We would just be the prettiest fun bouquet, wouldn't we?
Yeah. And Kara says she would be a hellebore because it gets more beautiful with age. Wow, I love that, Kara. We miss you, but we're glad you're here with us. We feel you.
I love that. Let's do, Holly, tell us before we get started with your segment, tell us what is it about nature that really calls you to it?
Well, I've always been called to nature. I mean, just as a little girl. But for me, like when I need to catch my breath and regroup, I go outside, I immediately head outdoors. I need to stand under a tree, feel the breeze. It's just, I don't know what it is. There's an unspoken connection between myself and nature. And I just really, I vibe it so much. I feel like it gets me. And I can just walk through the garden, pick things here and there, see how things are growing. And by the time I get back into the house, I am ready to go again. I am refueled. So I lean on nature a lot to literally get me through my day-to-day stuff. Just like you and your husband, my husband and I have always been green thumbs. Even when we didn't have our own house, we would go over to my parents' house and do their landscaping because we just wanted to get dirty.
Oh, I love it.
And I also loved shopping the nursery, but as our family grew and our budget got tighter, I realized, how many flowers I could grow with a pack of $2 seeds. And really kind of started my journey there, really started to connect. And as the kids got bigger, I realized I really need to be growing, my own food and as much of it as I possibly can because it's so expensive. And now even more so. So my connection is really about family and my mental health, if you will.
No, I get that. And tell everybody why your grocery bill is probably pretty expensive.
Oh, well, we have 6 kids. My husband and I, we're high school sweethearts. We've been together for a little over 30 years now, I think. And we have 6 kids. They range in age 26 to 11. We have 2 sets of twins, 3 girls, 3 boys. And if you have even one boy, that they eat you out of house and home. So, regular shelf food, canned food, that's inexpensive, but produce is very expensive. And so we immediately put in blueberry bushes. We immediately started growing raspberries, all the things we knew the kids would eat. And of course, I would say the kitchen is closed, stay out of there. There's no snacks available. And then you'd see all these little feet out in the garden. Just somebody's in the blueberries, somebody's eating peas, and they're quietly snacking. I just loved it.
Oh,
I love that.
That sounds incredible. Wow. That's
Yes,
so
it's definitely been, when the kids were younger, they were really involved in the garden, very proud to grow their own food. And I don't think they would have eaten as many vegetables as they did had they not been able to grow them themselves and see it and feel the sense of, satisfaction and reward by doing it. So, it was so wonderful having a living classroom as they grew up, but now they're bigger and they've got other things going on. And so my husband and I really are back in the garden by ourselves most of the time, which is equally fabulous.
Were you inspired by your own childhood? Was this something that were your parents and your husband's parents actually taught you? Did you guys grow your own when you were young too?
Not like consistently. I've always been a city girl, but my grandparents, they had a beautiful garden, vegetable garden. They had a stately rose garden that actually my husband and I were married in. And that was just incredibly inspiring to all my cousins and our grandma at 4 foot nothing was everything to us. Everything she did was gold. And so I'm not the only one. All my cousins are, incredibly talented. My aunt is a true farmer with lots of animals and everything. And so, I think she is our main inspiration. But also as a child, my dad is a huge green thumb. He has a beautiful greenhouse right now full of amazing things. And they had gardens and did their own landscaping and were very talented at it. So, yeah, I've had lots of inspiration. And my husband and I just couldn't wait to get our own yard and get stuff going.
That sounds incredible. You've inspired me. You and Kara have inspired me. Like, I'm starting to grow flowers, and it's always been my dream to also have my own vegetable garden. And looking through your Instagram, it's like so filled with color. And I always go like the vases you have behind you, and I'm like, I want to eat like that. I want that to be my life. I would really love to know about, I've seen in your last Instagram post that you're drying flowers.
Yes.
Why? Tell us about that.
I'm drying flowers like crazy woman, and I love it. Again, people are like, well, what do you do with them? Well, this is what I do with them. This is part of it. This is part of the journey itself is why I do it. So being able to go out into the garden with a beautiful bowl, gather whatever flowers are available that day. And I mainly grow edible flowers. So most of what I have dried are edible, with a few exceptions. So I gather my flowers. I love to leave them outside. Once I gather them, I put them under my covered porch, let the bugs scurry. They are in there hiding. So just give them a few minutes to get on out of there, find a new place to live. Before I bring them in the house, then I toss all my flowers into a colander and I give them a really good shake. Just one last chance for any bugs that didn't want to run for the hills before.
Okay.
Because I really don't want to bring anybody in the house that I don't have to. After that, I bring them in the house and I rinse. And of course, it depends on, what the flower, what I'm doing with it. But for the most part, I like to rinse anything that I'm going to eat or later create beauty products with. So I give them a really quick, light rinse under some cool water. And I put them on my counter on paper towels just to air dry for a little bit. Once I do that, I set them on window screens. This is...
Yes. Show us, please. Wait. Okay. So this is where they dry out after you soak them.
Yes. This is what they dry on. This is a $5 window screen from your hardware store. Okay. And if you don't have time to do that, you probably have one on your window already. Just rip it off. And then that's what I did when I first figured that out. I used all of our screens. My husband was like, what happened to the window screens? Anyway, so you can use these, and I put them on a utility shelf. A utility shelf is just like a plastic shelf that has slats on the shelving. So I'm getting total airflow between the screens and the shelving. Mm-hmm. I place my flowers, like, for example, here I have some calendula that I prepared this morning. And I stick it on my screens upside down. I try to spread out the flower if needed, and I stick it upside down. That'll help it to keep its shape. Then it'll dry for about a week. It really depends on humidity, temperature. I mean, there's a lot of different factors on how long it will take. So it could be anywhere from a couple of days to maybe 2 weeks. Once I think they're actually dry, I let them sit there for like 2-3 more days, just to be certain. And then I'll start to jar them up. And when I do that, for the first 2 weeks, I will open the jars every day for about 10 minutes, maybe shake up my flowers, just let them breathe for a minute. This really helps them acclimate into the jar. If you open the jar the next day and you're feeling like your flowers maybe are a little moist, dump them back out on your screen and let them finish drying. They weren't done. That's how you get moldy flowers.
I have to ask this question because I was seeing your blooms are upside down on your drying rack.
Yes.
And you go out there every morning, and how do you determine? So you're not waiting for them to dry. Here's the hard part I think I would have trouble with. You're cutting them while they're blooming. So they're still blooming, but you're cutting them. So like you don't wait for them to die on the plant.
No, I don't wait for them to dry naturally.
No.
Yeah, that's a great question, though. I mean, because a lot of flowers can dry naturally. I mean, roses dry right there but once they've been in sun, probably those are full of bugs. Those would be harder to wash once they're dried already. And then also the sun tends to brown your flowers. It can also zap the scent right out of it. So we really want to dry them out of direct sunlight. If you're not able to do like an indoor setup like I have, where it's on shelves and drying naturally, you certainly can use a dehydrator on really low. I believe it's 125 Fahrenheit or something. It should say on your dehydrator the proper temp for flowers and herbs. You can do that. You can also set them outside, just out of the sun, and then bring them in at night so that they don't get affected by the morning dew.
Here's a great question. Do edible flowers have flavor?
Yes, they do. Some of them taste great, and some of them are disgusting.
You make it sound so good, Holly.
Yeah, no, it just depends. They all have different flavors. My favorite edible flower is, if you're just getting into the edible flower world, I suggest just starting out with pansies or violas. They're very friendly. They're a very mild taste, so you can add them to anything and it won't ruin your dish.
Ooh,
Like,
look
you
at
know,
this.
yeah, unlike lavender, if you put lavender in everything, it's going to be lavender, whatever you're cooking. So that one is very overpowering. But pansies are very sweet and subtle. You can use them fresh. You can use them dried. I happen to have some here.
Do you have a favorite flower that you dry? What's your favorite?
I think it's the pansies,
The pansies?
actually. Well, and the calendula, because I can make so many things out of it. But pansies also make lovely, like, salve and oil. And I don't know if you can see this.
Higher, a little. Oh, there, a little higher. No.
Yes.
We'll get there.
It's perfect right there.
So, what was
Three flowers. Yeah. They are so cute. And if you don't want them to shrivel up, I get a lot of people like, I dried my pansies and they shriveled all up. Well, that's what they do if you're drying them naturally. They're great to add in like tea blends because they give that little extra pretty, and then they don't kill your taste of whatever it is. You can put them in these little fancy bags, sachets for your drawer or under your pillow, or you can add bath salts with those in it, and then stick this in your tub so that the loose dried petals don't get everywhere in your tub and then go down your drain. Stick it in the little sachet.
Is this a family thing? Does your family help you with this too? Do the kids get involved in this?
Oh, they used to. They used to a lot, but not so much anymore. And I mean, really, again, I do this for my sanity. I work full time all day. When I close my laptop, I head immediately outside to the garden and just refill my soul with these kinds of projects and gathering up this stuff. And then the kids really jump in now when I'm all done. They love to make the salves with me and lotions and create and melt the beeswax and add the flowers. So when we're doing recipes and stuff, I get more helpers.
Can we go to the last picture, production, please? Because I believe those were Christmas ornaments, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people ask me, what do you do with your dried flowers? And I cook with them. I make beauty products with them, and I craft with them. And here's one of the things that I made last year. It's got the very top. Those were artichoke silks. And so just whatever you collect, nature is so beautiful. Just the randoms, the things you think are garbage, and the silks and the artichokes after they've dried up are beautiful. I filled them full. I filled a lot of glass ornaments full of those, and they look stunning next to the lights on the tree. So, and then also I did the pansies as well. And if you don't, like I was saying, if you don't want them crinkled up, then press them. And when you press a pansy,
so pretty and delicate, but yet it holds a lot of color.
It's like paper thin. It's gorgeous. Yeah. I did the same with some roses so that you could see.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Holly,
interesting question. It's in Spanish, so I'll translate it. They're asking, do you need to store them in crystal or glass bases, or can they be stored in plastic?
They can be stored in an airtight plastic bag. The key is we just want to eliminate any possible moisture that could get into your container that you're storing it in. I just prefer glass jars because I like to look at them all the time. But if you don't have space for that, definitely a plastic sealable bag will work. And actually it works great with the calendula because in a jar, these tend to fall apart. So if you do it in a plastic bag, you can lay them flat and then stack them. And then you have beautiful little flowers.
That's an excellent tip. Thank you for that. Before we move on to Ana's segment, will you tell everybody what's coming up with your What Women Create video, please?
Well, I'm actually not sure. It's all a surprise. It's still in the works, but I'm so excited to be a part of this new collaboration between BLOOMTV Network and What Women Create. I don't know if you've seen this magazine, friends, but it's stunningly beautiful. Like the kind where you want to cut the pages out and frame them and hang them on your wall. That kind of beautiful. So when I got the call that they wanted to do a feature on me, I was like, are you sure? You know who I am, right? Me. So yeah, so I'm thrilled. It's totally out of my comfort zone. It's really new. It was really fun to have a production crew here. And all I had to do was stand where they tell me to stand. And it was so fun. So I'm thrilled to see it all. I can't wait to see it put together.
Well, no doubt there's going to be tears coming from you, and it's going to be something, but you know what? We often don't see ourselves the way other people do, and it's no surprise to me. I've had 12 weeks of just being able to share a little bit here and there with you through our BLOOMTV expert experience. But you are rocking it on social media. You are giving away your giftings, and you are encouraging others. You make them laugh. You bring such joy. So we're not at all surprised that you are going to be featured on this, my friend.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's kind of
You're
just been a
welcome.
whirlwind of joy. So no complaints here.
No complaints here. Well, Ana, what are you up to today, young lady?
Well, I'm gonna show you how to do a flower arrangement with dahlias. Let me change the light.
Oh,
Because
dahlias.
dahlias are in bloom in the summer and everyone loves dahlias, but there's something even better about dahlias that I love so much. It's that they tend to be even harder to work with than tulips. And this is why. Because you cannot force them to do anything you want. They have their own shape. So you need to pay attention to the shape of the stem and to how the flower head is. I mean, this is standing straight. You cannot wire it. You cannot move it. You have to work with the flower. And I love doing that. That is probably one of the reasons I love doing flower arrangements the most, because I connect with the flowers and they are the ones guiding most of my flower arrangements. So for this arrangement, I'm gonna show you a really easy way to work with your dahlias, to have fun, to actually let flowers guide you, and to practice letting nature tell you what to do, because there's no other way with dahlias. You need to let them do their magic, and you just follow their orders.
I'm
So-
glad you told us that, Ana, because I've never worked with dahlias, and I've tried to paint them, and I've painted them a few times, but I don't think I've ever actually had any in an arrangement that I've played with before. So thank you for the heads up that they are in charge, and I should just sit back and let them be their grand self.
Totally. And a lot of people actually don't like arranging dahlias because of that. Because, a lot of people wants to lead the way, tell their flowers what they're supposed to be doing. But with dahlias, you cannot do that, not at all. I have some holly in your honor. No, this is from my garden. So first, I like a round base because this helps you flow with your flower arrangements. It has some chicken wire in it. Can you see it? Well,
Yep.
there you see it. It's a ball of chicken wire. I didn't put any tape to secure it because of the form of the base, it won't come off. But if you had a different base, you need to make sure your wire won't come up, because if it does, your whole flower arrangement will break into pieces. I like our holly because it moves, it flows, it's just dancing.
I love that it has, I love a trailing. I think a bouquet that has little trailing stems like your holly there is really more interesting. I love that look. Really beautiful. I love the deep green too, Ana.
And what I'm doing right now, it's just making the shape. My arrangement is gonna go flowing to the sides. So I'm putting some foliage, so my stems, even though I have the chicken wire, they will hold in place and they will not move. That's so important. I know a lot of people use pin frocks, and yes, they help you so the flowers will stick and stay in their places. But I'd rather use foliage and chicken wire because most of the time pin frogs are kind of expensive. So this is another alternative, and not everyone has access to pin frogs. So I'm just playing again. I'm letting my
already gorgeous, by the way. It's already
Yeah.
a masterpiece. I have like 5 places in my house I'd put it.
Absolutely. Holly, do you only do flowers or do you also dry large leaves like this?
I'm taking a pressing class this summer, so I am expanding my knowledge of pressing leaves. So right now I just do edible herbs and edible flowers is my main focus.
Okay.
great.
Well,
After you have your foliage, and try to find a foliage that is really loose. You can also work with springarai. That's how you say it. Can you correct me? Springarai?
I think it sounds perfect the way you said it because
because
I don't
it's
know.
Zoe, the Plumosa fern, anything like that will work well. I'm gonna add some carnations. Why? Because the carnations will bring contrast, will give movement also to my arrangement. So I like to put my carnations like close to the vase. That way also it's putting all my stems together at the bottom. I'm trying to insert them like this, cross. So when I stick my dahlias, they will stay in place. So I do a little, I play a little bit. I try to put them like in groups of 3 and try to work in different depths. Yes, that's how you say it. So always something that's so important when you're working in water and with floral foam, without floral foam, is that you need to measure your stems before actually cutting them. You cannot be like, okay, I think this is the right height and I'm gonna put it. No, it's important that
Are you trying to call me out on this, Ana? You just called me out. Like, I'm not a measurer. I'm not.
I was thinking the same thing.
She just called me out. I'm like, how does she know that I just hold it up and go?
Then, I mean, if you cut it, if it ends up being taller than you want to, you can always cut it more, like I just did right now. But if it ends up being too short, there's nothing you can do. So I always tell everyone that it's important to measure. Once you get practice, I mean, your sight already knows what the height is. You don't need to measure because, I don't know, like magic happens. Or I call it like that. It's magic.
I like it. I like that. I like that when magic happens. That's so good. Now, Holly, I know that you dry. Do you do arranging like what Ana does a little bit here? Do you enjoy that?
I never, ever do it. I enjoy watching them do it. I'm really learning a lot and it's inspiring, but I see the vase and I think of all the things I could do with the stuff in the vase. So I love to look at them, but I never do that.
I love that.
So now that I feel comfortable with what I have, you probably cannot see the carnations that much, but there they are.
We can. It's beautiful. Really beautiful.
Carnations symbolize love, by the way. They are the official flower of Mother's Day.
Oh, really? Okay. So now I need to look at my stems and I need to be like, okay, what form you have? I need to look at my arrangement. That is crucial. You always need to look to see, okay, where would you go? Where would you look the prettiest? And
what's it saying to you? What's it saying to you right now?
I want to be there. Because also, you see, the stem is kind of curvy. So I'm going to take advantage of the curve right there. I cut and I insert it.
Okay, so it said it wanted to be there because they're the boss and you are just facilitating their plan. I love this flower. It's a show-off flower. Is there a reason why you chose this shade today, or are you just like this was nearby at the, you know, what you chose? Is this?
Okay, right now they are in full bloom here where I live in Baja California in Mexico. And these are local dahlias. And I went to get flowers this week, and they had like thousands of dahlias. And I was like, oh my God, I want them all. And I actually bought like 60 dahlias. I went crazy. So I made an arrangement for my mom. I made an arrangement for my sister. I made arrangements for everyone. And this color is kind of trendy. They call it café au lait.
Okay.
So yesterday, my wholesaler called me and he told me, Ana, I got you café au lait dahlias. Do you want them for the show? And I was like, yes, thank you.
Yes.
So it was mostly him who offered them.
I love that. And Holly and I are going to wait for our arrangement in the mail, sis. So thank you for that.
How much longer will dahlias be in season, Ana?
Right here in Baja California, they are in season. They told me, I actually asked. They will be in season until October.
Oh, wow.
That is exciting. I'm growing dahlias for the first time this year from seed, and they just popped up, but they're only like one layer of petals. Maybe that's because it's from seed. They're not the showstoppers that you have.
Kara would be great at answering that, and she might in the comments. Kara, you'll have the answer to Holly. And look at this stem.
Beautiful.
I have it right here, and it's incredible. I grabbed it, and it immediately moved to the side. It was like, I want to be in one of the sides. Don't put me standing. I want to be in the side. So since I already have this one here, I'm going to put the other one on the other side. And this is going to be, what's the word? Okay, so here it is. You can see it.
That's beautiful. It reminds me of the old-fashioned pinwheels we had when we were little, like the little pinwheels that were on a stick and then it spun around. Do you guys know what I'm talking about with all the colors?
No.
Oh, they were like a prize or something. It was a pinwheel. It was a toy, and it would spin around. It looks just like that gorgeous flower.
Yes.
Kara says we should do a whole show on dahlias. You know we will, Kara. That sounds wonderful.
We should, and Dahlia would be the best person for that. Yes. And here's one thing. I don't know, and Kara, you can answer this, but where I live, dahlias don't last a long time. Once you cut them, they last like 3 days the most. They will last 3 days in a flower arrangement. And I know a lot of people will not buy them because of that. And I'm always, for a really long time, it's something that I tell all my students or all my viewers. It's like, give yourself, allow yourself to enjoy flowers for the time that they last. I mean, nothing lasts forever. So dahlias are a great practice to just enjoy the beauty in the moment and then learn to let go. So that's another reason why I love dahlias.
Well, in the comments, people are commenting how beautiful your arrangement is. I am curious after the show if you would be able to post your finished photo of your finished arrangement, maybe on our social media.
Yes,
our Instagram at Flowers and Friends on our Instagram, and then maybe they can see it there so they can see the full finished look of it. Because
I love that. I will. So just one last thing, give yourself permission to play with dahlias. Do it. I mean, nobody's going to be judging you. You can just have fun. This is for yourself. So just have fun, see whatever happens. And just at the end, I'm going to tell you, even if we need to finish this, I'm going to add some jarrow that it's also just like to fill in the gaps. Like I need some color and to add a different
texture.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, Holly knew that. Texture, lots of texture. I wanted to remind everybody while she's finishing up there that the What Women Create collaboration with BLOOMTV can now be found on your newsstands. And those of you that are subscribers, they'll kind of be filtering into your mailbox. This is the Where Women Create, but the What Women Create, I think we have a graphic maybe with the What Women Create magazine that you can pick up. And I want to remind everybody about that because it's an absolute beautiful edition. We were talking about it a couple of times, but for those of you just popping on here at the end, just wanted to remind everybody about that. Ana,
Yes.
I am absolutely loving the direction that is going. I want to remind everybody to follow our Instagram as well at Flowers and Friends. For those of you just popping on, we are on here every single Friday at 12 Central, 10 Pacific. That makes it 1 Eastern. Look at me remembering I'm going all over the world here.
Yeah, that's amazing. And why don't we also remind everyone we have a beautiful gift for you. We are giving away 1 free month of Bloom TV for you to enjoy for your family, for your friends, for everyone. Just go to bloomtvnetwork.com and you sign up and you use the code FLOWERS and you will be able to enjoy the beauty of Bloom TV free for 1 month. I'm sure after that you will never want to stop being a subscriber.
No, that's all it takes, I think, for people to understand all of the content, right, Holly?
Absolutely. And when you're there on Bloom TV, be sure to sign up for the weekly giveaway with the Flowers and Friends talk show.
Yay!
Yeah. Yes. And we have a giveaway where we're giving away something new to one of our viewers every single week, but you have to sign up right there, put in your email address. Now this isn't make you subscribe to Bloom TV Network, but this gets you on our newsletter. This gets you signed up for the giveaway. When we're new and we want to share with as many people as possible. And so giveaways, they're fun and we want to participate. I even want to send free paint to some of our viewers every single week. So get on that list, get on the newsletter. We also send out emails every single week of what's going on, following up, what's coming up. We'll also let you know when Holly's new video is out.
Yes. 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 Okay.
Thank you, everybody. We've got a little video that we're going to show here in just 1 minute. It's wrapping it up, thanking our sponsors, but don't go anywhere. We have one more thing for you after that.
We have built the world's first flower-focused streaming network, bringing the public educational and entertaining shows that highlight the magic of flowers. Learn how to heal through flowers, cook with flowers, design your living space to reflect nature, make crafts using florals, sustainably garden, and so much more. We are your network for all things floral. Join us at Bloom TV as we help bring beauty to the lives of people and the planet through nature's most beautiful creation, the flower.
So beautiful.
Everybody,
Everybody.
every time I see that.
I know it's the music that goes, ooh.
Yeah.
It's like that. You're just like,
It just goes right into you. Yeah.
You guys, everybody at Bloom TV Network, thanks you for being here with us today and every single Friday.
Yay, thank you so much. And we'd really love to thank Bloom TV for giving us this opportunity to have this talk show for you. As you all know, we're working so hard because we're trying to get into a studio. So you being here with us, you recommending the show to your friends, your family, and everyone is helping us reach our goal. So thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being a part of Flowers and Friends talk show.
Yes, because everything is better with Flowers and Friends.
Yay.